Earth became the next target. Until they saw the message and panicked, Luke Taylor stood on the bridge of the orbital station above Mars, his eyes fixed on the screens that displayed streams of numbers, graphics, and warnings. The station hummed with quiet activity. Crew members moved from one console to another, checking instruments and monitoring the unusual energy readings that had appeared in the outer edges of the solar system.
Luke had spent 20 years in space, but this felt different.
There was a weight in the air, a quiet tension that he could not ignore. "Commander," said a young officer. Emily Ward, her voice steady but with a hint of worry. "The sensors are picking up fluctuations again. They're unlike anything we've seen before. Not asteroids, not solar flares. Something else." Luke leaned closer to the screen. The readings flickered, pulses of energy crossing the sensors. He frowned. "Plot their trajectory," he said. "See where they're heading. And cross-check with previous signals. I want to know if this is a natural phenomenon or if something is approaching the inner planets."
Emily nodded and tapped on the console. "Already on it, sir."
"It's coming from beyond Neptune. Fast."
"Fast?"
Luke asked. He did not need to hear the numbers to feel the urgency.
"How fast?"
Emily hesitated for a moment. "If this continues, it will reach Mars in less than 72 hours. Luke's stomach tightened. That was too fast for a natural object from deep space. Something was coming, and it was not friendly. He could feel it, a warning that crawled along the back of his neck. Far below, on Earth, people went about their daily lives, unaware of the threat moving through space. In observatories, astronomers noticed unusual signals. Rachel Green, sitting at her workstation in Arizona, was one of the first to see the pattern. She stared at the screen, blinking rapidly as she tried to make sense of the sequence. "What is this?" she muttered to herself. The signal was complex, a mix of numbers and pulses, almost like a language, but not one she had ever seen. She tapped her desk phone.
"Alex? I think you need to see this." Minutes later, Alex Parker joined her, eyes widening as he scanned the data. "It looks like
someone is trying to communicate," he said slowly. "It's not random. Look at these repetitions, the patterns. It's deliberate." Rachel shook her head. "Deliberate, yes, but what does it mean? We've never received anything like this before."
"Maybe it's a warning," Alex said, his voice low.
"Or maybe it's an invitation." Meanwhile, Luke Taylor and his team were preparing. The orbital station had limited defenses, but there was still hope. Earth's military was alert, though they had little information about the approaching object. They relied on the scientists, the mathematicians, and the engineers to interpret what the signals meant. Every decision had to be precise. Mistakes could be fatal. On Mars, the colony watched the sky with nervous anticipation. Supplies were running low, and the colonists knew they were vulnerable. If anything attacked, they could not hope to defend themselves for long. Luke walked along the narrow corridors of the station, passing the observation windows where red dust swirled over the surface of the planet below. He could see the humans working in labs, checking systems, preparing for the unknown. He stopped near a communications console. "Emily," he said, "open a channel to Earth. I want all the top scientists on standby. Get Nina Harris, Alex Parker, and Rachel Green. We need them watching this in real time." "Yes, sir," Emily replied. She tapped commands into the system, opening secure lines to multiple locations on Earth. Within minutes, the top minds were connected, exchanging data, hypotheses, and calculations. On Earth, Nina Harris, a mathematician known for her work on complex patterns in nature and space signals, stared at the screen. Her hands trembled slightly, but her mind was sharp, alert, and ready. She could see the structure hidden within the chaos. "This isn't just a random signal," she said. "It's too precise, too intelligent. Whoever or whatever is sending this knows we are listening."
"What do you think it wants?" Rachel asked.
Nina shook her head. "I don't know, but I think it's a message, a test maybe. It's like they are trying to measure something about us, how fast we can interpret it, how quickly we can react." Luke Taylor watched all of this unfold from Mars orbit. He felt a strange mix of fear and pride. Humans had never faced anything like this. They were about to be tested, and the universe was about to see what humanity could do. Hours passed. The signals grew stronger, more complex. They were no longer just patterns. They seemed to convey concepts, ideas, and warnings hidden within numbers. Alex Parker noticed something alarming. "Look at this sequence," he said. "It's almost like a map of the solar system." And the pattern focuses on Earth. Rachel gasped. "Earth is the target?" Alex nodded grimly. "It looks that way." The news was shocking, but not yet public. Humanity was unaware of the impending danger. Governments debated whether to warn the public or keep it secret. Luke understood both perspectives. Panic could destroy the planet's social order, but ignorance could destroy it too. In orbit, Luke called a meeting with his top officers. "We don't know what's coming," he said, "but we do know it is heading toward Earth. We have limited time. I want contingency plans ready. We must be prepared to defend our home. Not just Mars or the station, but Earth."
Emily spoke up. "Sir, our defenses are limited."
"We could slow them down maybe, but we can't match the technology of an advanced fleet if it's hostile." "I know," Luke replied.
"That's why we need the scientists. We need to understand what they are sending, and we need to use it."
"Humanity has survived worse. We'll need all of our ingenuity, all of our courage. If the universe thinks we are weak, they are about to learn otherwise." Far beyond the solar system, the alien fleet moved in silence. Their ships were massive, black, and shaped like elongated blades of metal. They cut through space effortlessly, guided by technology that no human had yet imagined. The aliens, known as the Korthan, had conquered many worlds. They had never failed. Yet among them, a young analyst named Vera noticed something strange. "Commander," she said, approaching the Korthan leader, "we are receiving signals from that planet." Highly complex, advanced intelligence. "They are responding to our scans in real time," the commander frowned. "Humans are primitive. Their intelligence is not significant. Continue the mission. Do not be distracted by curiosity." Vera's eyes narrowed. She studied the signals closely. "Commander, this is not ordinary intelligence. They are learning, adapting. Even from our scans, they are producing responses that are unpredictable. This could pose a risk." The commander waved her off. "We have never failed. They are nothing. Keep moving." Vera turned away, troubled. She had seen the Korthan underestimate their enemies before, and it had always ended badly. But she was only one voice among many. But now she could only watch and hope. Back on Earth, Nina Harris and her colleagues worked tirelessly. The signals contained strange formulas, new ways to manipulate energy, hints at tactics that could be used defensively. At first, it seemed overwhelming. But humans were stubborn, and their minds were quick. They began decoding patterns, finding principles hidden in the message, uncovering strategies that could turn a disadvantage into an advantage. Rachel Green felt a thrill of excitement even as fear gripped her heart. "It's like they're challenging us," she said, "testing us. If we can understand this, we might survive." Luke Taylor watched the progress from Mars orbit, coordinating data streams and feeding results to Earth's defense networks. Every discovery, every solution was another step toward preparing humanity for what was coming. The humans did not yet know it, but the galaxy had underestimated them. Night fell over Earth. Cities lit up, unaware of the silent tension beyond the atmosphere. On Mars, the red dust glowed faintly under the station's lights. The alien fleet continued its approach, and the clock ticked down. Humanity faced a threat unlike any other, but for the first time, there was a glimmer of hope. Humans had their ingenuity, their courage, and their unity. The signals from space were no longer just warnings, they were lessons, waiting for humanity to learn, adapt, and survive. Luke Taylor took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility. "This is it," he said quietly to himself. "Whatever comes, we will be ready. Earth is not just a planet. It is our home, and we will protect it." The first part of the test had begun. Signals moved through space, reaching the eyes and minds of those who would respond.
The aliens continued their approach, unaware that they were no longer the hunters. They had triggered a force that they could not yet measure. Humanity was awake, alert, and learning, and when the time came, Earth would not fall easily. As the hours turned to days, scientists decoded more messages. Strategists planned every possible scenario, and Luke coordinated the limited forces at his disposal. The tension was palpable, but so was determination. Humanity was small in the galaxy, but their minds were vast. Their creativity, stubbornness, and unity had always been their strength. And now, those strengths would be tested on a scale they had never imagined. In the quiet of space, the alien fleet advanced. But humanity was no longer blind. Eyes turned to the stars, minds sharpened, and hearts prepared. The first part of the story had begun, and the universe would soon see that Earth was not a target to be conquered. It was a force to be reckoned with. The signal from deep space continued to pulse, stronger now than before. It moved through the atmosphere and across the vast networks of Earth's communication systems, reaching observatories, universities, and private labs around the world. People who worked with data and numbers noticed the unusual patterns immediately. At first, many thought it was an error, some glitch in the equipment. But the more they watched, the more impossible it seemed. Dr. Nina Harris sat in the dim light of her office, surrounded by screens that showed the same repeating sequences. Her eyes were tired, her fingers moving quickly over the keyboard as she tried to trace the logic of the patterns. "There is meaning here," she said softly, more to herself than anyone else. "Someone is speaking to us, and we are supposed to understand." Rachel Green leaned over her shoulder. "Do you think it's a message?" she asked, voice quiet. The world outside their lab went on, unaware, but inside, the tension was like a drumbeat. "It has to be," Nina replied. "Random signals don't show structure like this. Look at these numbers. Prime sequences, energy patterns, even geometric symbols embedded in the data. Whoever sent this knows we are intelligent. They are testing us." Alex Parker joined them, carrying a stack of notes. "I've been analyzing the pulses," he said. "It's more than a test. It's a lesson. Look at this sequence." He pointed to a pattern on the screen. "It shows energy configurations we haven't discovered yet. If we can understand this, we could defend ourselves in ways no one imagined." Nina's eyes widened. "They are giving us tools. Tools. And warnings." Alex added,
"This part here, see the arrangement? It's almost like they are telling us, we know you exist."
"We know your potential. Think carefully." Rachel shivered. "It's like a threat wrapped in a gift." Meanwhile, in orbit around Mars, Luke Taylor monitored the growing activity. Every hour, more scientists and engineers were brought online, connecting Earth's research centers with his station. The screens in the command room lit up with codes, formulas, and diagrams, as the human race worked together for the first time with a single purpose: understanding the unknown.
"Emily," Luke said, pointing at a monitor, "send these patterns to Earth's energy labs."
"Start experiments. See if we can replicate the concepts safely. I don't care how long it takes, every second counts." "Yes, sir," Emily replied. She worked quickly, coordinating dozens of teams in orbit and on the surface. On Earth, the scientists began to experiment. Using the patterns from the signal, they constructed small-scale devices that could manipulate energy in unusual ways. Some devices created shields that could bend electromagnetic waves. Others produced controlled pulses that could disrupt machinery. Each experiment built upon the last, and slowly, humans began to understand the message's depth. Nina watched as her colleagues tested the first device. "It's working," she whispered. The shield shimmered, bending light and energy around a small sphere. "They are showing us what we can do." "Do you think they want us to fight?" Rachel asked, watching the glowing field. "I don't know," Nina replied. "But they are giving us the means to survive if we must." In deep space, Vera observed the humans from the Corthan fleet. She had been watching silently as the aliens prepared to attack, but now she could see the signals being received and understood. "Commander," she said, approaching her superior, "they are decoding our presence. They are learning faster than predicted. Their intelligence is remarkable." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Humans are insignificant. They cannot match our technology." "They are not insignificant," Vera insisted. "They are adaptive. Every time we scan or interfere, they respond in ways we did not anticipate. If we attack too soon, we could suffer losses." The commander waved her away. "Nonsense! Continue toward Earth. The planet will fall." Vera turned back, uneasy. She knew enough about history to understand that underestimating an intelligent opponent could be fatal. Back on Earth, humanity's work continued. Every major city with scientific resources became a center for decoding, testing, and sharing. The message from space was no longer just a warning. It was now a roadmap. Engineers used the sequences to create energy shields, drones, and defense grids. Pilots trained on simulations built from the alien patterns. Even civilians were involved, helping to translate, calculate, and model the concepts. The world began to change. Streets and cities still held the routines of daily life, but a quiet awareness hung in the air. Humanity was preparing, not for war, but for survival. And through the unity of effort, people began to see their own potential. Luke Taylor watched the progress from Mars. He walked among the crew, checking systems and encouraging the scientists. "We are learning faster than expected," he said. "Keep pushing. Every pattern we decode, every device we test, is a step closer to protecting Earth." Emily nodded. "The message, it's more than a warning. It's teaching us, showing us that if we work together, we can survive something no one thought we could."
Meanwhile, Vera watched from her ship as the humans began coordinating global networks of defense.
"They are preparing," she said softly. "They are learning how to fight even before the battle begins." The Corthan fleet continued its approach, but Vera's concern grew. "Commander," she said again, "they are not just adapting, they are evolving. Each time we make a move, they respond in ways we did not predict. We should reconsider our strategy." The commander's eyes were cold. "We do not reconsider. They are humans, weak. We are strong. Continue the attack." Vera stepped away, silent, her mind racing. She had seen empires fall to less adaptive species. Humanity was clever in a way the Corthan did not understand. On Earth, scientists discovered a new function within the signal. It was almost like a puzzle within a puzzle. Layers of instructions embedded in mathematics, energy physics, and abstract logic. Alex Parker stared at the screen, sweat forming on his forehead. "If we applied this formula to our satellites, we could create a field, a protective field around Earth, something that could confuse or block incoming attacks." Nina Harris nodded. "We should try. We have the technology, and the instructions are clear. This could be the first real defense we have." Rachel Green hesitated. "Do you think it will work?" "It sounds almost too simple." Nina smiled faintly. "Sometimes the simplest solution is the best, and whoever sent this message, they understood us. They know what humans are capable of. If we can trust the patterns, this could save us."
Luke Taylor received reports as the work progressed.
"We are on track," he said, relief in his voice. "Keep coordinating with Earth. Every device, every shield, every defensive measure counts. We do not have the numbers to win with strength alone, but we can win with ingenuity." As the hours passed, humanity's understanding deepened. They were no longer just decoding a signal. They were learning strategies, tactics, and methods that allowed them to anticipate, defend, and prepare. It was as if the message itself had been designed to teach, to unlock the potential of a species underestimated by the galaxy. Vera watched, increasingly troubled. "Commander," she said, "they are learning at a rate we cannot predict. If we continue, the risk increases every hour. Their understanding is growing faster than we anticipated." The commander dismissed her concerns. "Humans are primitive. Their intelligence is irrelevant. We will strike
and conquer.
Vera knew better. She had studied countless species, watched countless worlds fall, and she recognized when one was truly dangerous.
Humans were not strong in technology, not yet, but their adaptability, creativity, and unity made them unpredictable. Back on Earth, the first experiments with the protective field showed promising results. Small drones and satellites could manipulate energy, creating decoy signals and confusing sensors. Earth's atmosphere itself began to become a shielded network of defenses. People on the ground watched strange lights in the sky, unaware that the devices were working. Some thought it was a natural phenomenon. Some thought it was an experiment. Few realized that humanity was preparing for the greatest test it had ever faced. Luke Taylor coordinated with Earth in real time, guiding the deployment of defensive satellites and testing the energy configurations derived from the message.
"This is it," he said to his team.
"Every decision we make now could save billions of lives. Treat every calculation as if it is the last one we ever make."
Emily smiled faintly.
"We are ready, sir. The humans are ready. And they don't even know how powerful they are yet."
As the alien fleet approached, tension mounted.
Every hour, the signals from deep space continued to arrive. New instructions, new concepts, new ways to protect the planet. Humanity absorbed them all, building defenses not with raw strength but with intelligence, creativity, and the stubborn will to survive. Vera realized the danger. She had warned her commander, but he refused to listen. The humans were learning too fast. The Korthan had never faced a species like this. They had expected to arrive at Earth, strike, and move on. But now, the humans were awake, and they were preparing. Across the globe, humanity worked in unison. Scientists, engineers, pilots, and ordinary citizens contributed to a network of knowledge, devices, and strategies. Each discovery made them stronger, smarter, and more ready for the unknown. And the aliens, once confident, began to hesitate. The signal pulsed again, faster now, brighter. It was almost like encouragement, guiding humanity, showing them what to do. And slowly, the first real hope appeared. Humans would survive. They would fight in ways the universe had never seen, and Earth was no longer just a target. It was becoming a force. Luke Taylor watched the screens and smiled faintly. "We are learning. We are preparing. And when the time comes, Earth will not fall easily." Vera's eyes narrowed as she watched the humans' progress. "They are more dangerous than we thought," she whispered. "And soon, the galaxy will see it too." For the first time in human history, the universe was taking notice. The message from space had arrived as a warning, but humanity had turned it into a lesson. They were learning, growing, and preparing. And the first real battle had not even begun. The alien fleet was closer now. On the outer edge of the solar system, massive black shapes drifted silently through the void, cutting through space with terrifying precision. The Korthan ships moved as one enormous vessels that blocked the faint light of distant stars. Their weapons were powerful, their shields nearly impenetrable. But humanity had learned from the message, and that gave them hope. Luke Taylor stood on the bridge of the orbital station above Mars, his eyes scanning the sensors that showed the fleet advancing. Emily Ward stood beside him, tense but focused, her hands moving over the controls as she coordinated communications with Earth. "They're moving faster than we expected," she said. "We need to make sure the defenses are ready before they reach the inner planets." Luke nodded. "Every satellite, every drone, every energy field must be in position. If they reach Earth without resistance, we lose everything. Let's make sure that does not happen." On Earth, scientists and engineers worked around the clock. The instructions embedded in the alien signal had been complex, but humanity was faster than anyone could have imagined. Small drones, designed using the patterns from the message, were now being deployed across the atmosphere. Some carried energy pulses to interfere with sensors. Others projected decoys, creating false images to confuse the enemy. In Arizona, Rachel Green and Alex Parker watched the simulations.
"It's amazing," Alex said, pointing at the screens. "The decoys alone could make the aliens waste half their weapons before they even hit the planet."
"But we can't rely on just decoys. We need to combine everything. The shields,
The pulses, the drones. We need a network that works together. Nina Harris, who had been coordinating experiments, nodded.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Every system is being integrated. Every pattern from the message is helping us. The aliens don't realize that we are learning faster than they expected. Thousands of miles away, pilots trained on new tactics. Simulations showed them how to use the decoys, how to create energy fields that could redirect attacks, and how to work together across vast distances. Humanity had no large warships like the Corthan, but they had speed, intelligence, and ingenuity. Luke Taylor spoke over the comms to all bases.
This is it.
The fleet is near the asteroid belt. Every human on duty, every system in place, every plan in motion. It must work together. Remember, we are outnumbered and outgunned, but not outsmarted. We are prepared, and we will fight with what we have. In deep space, Vera watched the humans with a mixture of curiosity and fear. The Corthan commander remained confident, believing that a few powerful strikes would end the conflict quickly. But Vera noticed the patterns. Humans were coordinating across vast distances. Their devices were strange, unpredictable, and efficient.
They are clever, she said softly to herself. They are learning faster than our predictions. The first contact came near the outer asteroids.
The humans activated the decoy drones. Small lights flashed in space, creating illusions of ships and satellites that moved in unexpected ways. The Corthan weapons fired, but many of the shots missed entirely, striking empty space. The human shields absorbed others, bending energy in ways the aliens had not anticipated.
Good?
Taylor watched from the station. Good. Keep it up. Every pulse counts. Make sure the shields cover Earth, Mars, and our orbital stations. We cannot afford any mistakes. Emily Ward monitored the network. Commander, the decoys are working. Sensors show that several Corthan ships are already confused. Their formations are breaking.
On Earth, Nina Harris smiled. We're learning faster than they are. Every test we run gives us an advantage.
The message gave us knowledge, but it is our creativity that makes it effective.
Rachel Green nodded.
Exactly. They thought they were coming to conquer a primitive species. They didn't expect humans to adapt so quickly.
The Corthan commander's voice boomed across the fleet. Focus on the planet.
Destroy the shields, clear the obstacles, and prepare to attack. But Vera could see the problem. Humans were not just defending. They were thinking ahead. Each drone, each shield, each pulse was part of a larger network, coordinated across thousands of kilometers. Commander, she said, her voice calm but firm, we are underestimating them. They are not what we expected. If we continue, we risk losing ships before we even reach Earth. The commander shook his head. Impossible. Humans are weak. Their defenses are primitive. Proceed. Vera turned away, realizing she could not stop the orders. She studied the humans, wondering how they could be so unpredictable. Even from her distant observation, she could see the ingenuity that made them dangerous.
On Mars, Luke coordinated the satellites and drones. Focus the energy fields on the areas of highest threat.
Activate the countermeasures for incoming projectiles. Keep the drones moving. Make it impossible for them to predict our defenses. Emily nodded.
All systems are responding. The first wave of weapons is being intercepted.
The shields are holding.
The first encounter was chaotic.
Explosions of light flared across space as energy weapons struck decoys or were bent away by shields. Small Corthan vessels were disabled by pulses that overloaded their systems. The humans had no large fleet, but the combination of intelligence, coordination, and creative use of the message's instructions was proving deadly. Rachel Green watched the simulations. They thought they could win with force, she said. But we are turning force into confusion. Every mistake they make costs them more. Alex Parker nodded. And every success we have teaches us more about them. We are learning faster than they can adapt. On Earth, civilians began to notice strange phenomena in the sky. Lights flickered, moved in odd patterns, and disappeared. Many thought it was an aurora or a satellite experiment.
Few realized it was the first battle for their survival. Luke Taylor monitored the orbital station's status. We're holding them off, but we need to stay vigilant. The Corthan will adjust. They are intelligent, but so are we. Keep adapting. Emily turned to him. Sir, reports from the sensors. Some of their ships are damaged. A few may retreat if we maintain pressure. Luke's eyes narrowed. Good. Keep it up. Every mistake they make is an advantage for us. Make sure Earth stays protected at all costs. Beira observed the chaos from her ship. Her mind raced. Humans were clever, faster in learning than the Corthan had ever faced. They were improvising, coordinating, and finding ways to make every Corthan attack ineffective. Commander, she said again, we may need to rethink this strategy. The humans are adapting. They are dangerous. The commander's response was cold. Humans are weak. Continue. Strike harder. But Vera knew the truth. Humans were not weak. They were unpredictable, adaptive, and creative. Each failed strike by the Corthan gave the humans more information. They were turning defense into offense without even leaving their planet. Luke Taylor coordinated with Earth again. Deploy the next set of drones. Extend the energy shields around critical areas. Keep the Corthan focused on the wrong targets.
Emily monitored the progress. Commander, they're falling for it. Sensors show that several Corthan ships are firing in empty space.
Their formation is breaking apart. Rachel Green smiled faintly. It's working. They are underestimating us, and that is their mistake.
Alex Parker added, every failed attack teaches us something.
Every pulse we emit weakens their control. We may not have their firepower, but we have knowledge and unity. The Corthan fleet struggled to maintain order. Vera watched as their ships tried to correct course, but every move was countered by human ingenuity. The decoys, shields, and pulses worked together in ways the aliens could not predict. Even their most advanced sensors could not fully map the humans' defenses. Back on Earth, civilians remained unaware of the full scale of the threat. People went about their lives, watched the news, and noticed small anomalies in the sky. Scientists, pilots, and military leaders worked behind the scenes to ensure their survival. Humanity had learned to act as one, united against a threat far greater than themselves. Luke Taylor spoke over the global network. Hold your positions. Keep the shields active, drones in motion, and energy pulses ready. The Corthan will try to adapt, but we are faster. Remember, every failure they experience is a lesson for us. Emily Ward added, all systems are responding. The decoys are working, shields are holding, and energy pulses are disrupting their attacks. We are ready for the next phase. Beira sighed, realizing that the humans were beyond her expectations. They had turned the alien message into a weapon of knowledge. Their creativity and unity made them unpredictable, dangerous, and alive in ways the Corthan had not anticipated. The first major clash had ended with minimal damage to Earth's orbit. The Corthan were forced to retreat temporarily, recalibrating their weapons and reconsidering their strategy. Luke Taylor watched the displays, relieved but cautious. This is only the beginning, he said. We've learned much, but the fight is far from over. We need to stay ready. Every day, every hour, every decision counts. Isguaprax. Rachel Green nodded. We've bought time. But we need to keep learning. They will come back, and next time we must be ready for anything. They're coming faster than ever, she said. We need to make every second count. Luke tapped a microphone. All stations, all teams. Initiate final defensive protocols. Protect Earth at all costs. The first wave of the Corthan attack began. Energy beams shot from the alien ships, cutting through space toward the Earth's system. The human network responded instantly. Drones moved in patterns no Corthan weapon could predict, creating decoys that drew the beams away from populated areas. Energy shields bent the remaining attacks, absorbing the force without collapsing.
Emily pointed at the screen. Commander, the shields are holding.
The decoys are working. They're missing their targets. Luke nodded, his jaw tight. Good. Keep it up. Focus on protecting the surface and orbital stations. Every hit they take gives us more time to counterattack. Vera watched from the alien flagship, her face pale. "Commander," she said, "the humans are not just defending. They are adapting. Every attack we make, they respond faster than we expect. Their systems are unpredictable." The Korthan commander's eyes narrowed.
They are humans. They cannot match us.
"Focus fire. Destroy them." Vera shook her head. "They are more dangerous than you think. Their minds are clever. Their unity stronger than ours. They learn and change with every move. If we continue, we risk losing ships, maybe many." The commander ignored her and ordered another strike. The second wave of beams cut toward Earth, but the humans had anticipated this. Using patterns derived from the alien message, Luke and his team directed pulses from satellites, bending the energy beams away and even reflecting some back toward the attackers. Small Korthan vessels were disabled instantly as their own weapons overloaded. On Earth, Nina Harris watched in awe.
"It's working. They're falling into our network traps."
"The patterns are too precise for the Korthan to adapt in real time." Rachel Green grinned. "We turned their strength against them." Alex Parker pointed at the screen. "Every failure they have teaches us more. We know their weapons better than they do. Every move is a lesson." Luke Taylor spoke to the network again. "Deploy the next layer of defenses. Focus on the key channels, our satellites, drones, and orbital stations. Keep confusing them. Make them waste resources. Make them regret underestimating us." Emily Ward monitored the signals. "Commander, some Korthan ships are retreating. Their formations are breaking." Luke's eyes narrowed. "Good. But don't celebrate yet. The fight isn't over. Keep pressure on them. Every second counts." Vera realized the situation was worse than she feared. The humans were learning faster than the Korthan could predict. They were turning defense into offense without firing a single direct shot at the planet. "Commander," she said quietly, "they are not what we expected. If we continue, we risk a total loss." The Korthan commander dismissed her. "Humans are weak. Finish the attack." But the humans had one more advantage. Using the patterns from the alien message, they had discovered a way to manipulate energy across long distances, creating fields that interfered with the Korthan ship's control systems. Luke coordinated the attack with precision. Energy pulses spread across the fleet, causing confusion and disruption. Systems went offline. Communications failed. Ships collided or spun out of control. Emily shouted, "Commander, they're falling apart. Systems are failing across the fleet." Luke smiled faintly. "Keep pushing. Every moment we hold them, every failure they experience, gives us the chance to take the fight to them." Vera watched, horrified. The humans were not only defending, they were countering every Korthan maneuver. Ships that had been confident moments ago were now drifting helplessly, their weapons useless. She realized that the humans' adaptability, creativity, and unity had become a weapon stronger than anything the Korthan had imagined. On Earth, civilians looked up at the sky, seeing flashes of light and strange movements. Few understood what was happening, but the fear was tempered by awe. Humanity was standing together, turning impossible odds into survival. Rachel Green said quietly, "They thought they could conquer us." "They didn't expect humans to think like this." Alex Parker nodded. "We've taken what they gave us, the message, and turned it into a shield and a weapon. They underestimated our intelligence, and that's their mistake." Luke Taylor coordinated the final phase. "Focus all energy pulses on their main ships. Use decoys to draw the rest into traps. Make it impossible for them to regain control." Emily watched the displays, her fingers flying over the console. "Commander, their flagship is destabilizing. Many smaller ships are drifting without control." Vera realized the truth. Humanity had turned the Korthan's own technology against them. "They are clever," she whispered. "They are too clever. We cannot fight them and survive." The Korthan commander's face twisted in anger and disbelief. "Impossible! Humans cannot outsmart us." Luke Taylor saw the opportunity. "All units initiate final pulse sequence. Target critical ships, focus on command nodes, and disrupt their entire network." The pulses surged across space, striking the Korthan fleet with precision. Ships spun out of control, weapons fired randomly, and energy shields collapsed. The humans' network of decoys, drones, and energy fields had effectively neutralized the attack.
Emily shouted, "They're retreating! They're abandoning the fight!"
Luke nodded, relief washing over him. "We did it. Earth is safe. For now." Vea watched the retreating fleet, her expression grim. They are not just a planet. They are a species. And they are dangerous. The humans had not only survived, they had forced the Korthon to retreat without a single direct strike on the planet itself.
Luke Taylor contacted Earth. All units maintain positions.
Monitor the fleet, but for now, we've proven our strength. Humanity is not to be underestimated. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but meaningful. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel realized what they had accomplished. They had turned intelligence, creativity, and unity into weapons stronger than firepower alone. Nina Harris smiled as she looked at the screens. "We survived. We learned. And we grew stronger because of it." Rachel Green nodded. "The galaxy has seen what humans are capable of. We are small, but we are clever, and that is our greatest strength." Alex Parker added, "We've turned a threat into a lesson. And we will continue to grow, to adapt, and to defend ourselves, no matter what comes next."
Luke Taylor looked out from the orbital station at the blackness of space.
"We faced the impossible and survived. We learned, we adapted, and we protected our home. Earth will not fall easily. We are humans, and that is our greatest weapon." Vera recorded her observations, knowing the Korthan would face consequences for underestimating humanity. "They are clever, adaptive, and united," she reported. "This species cannot be ignored. The galaxy has misjudged them, and it will be a mistake remembered for centuries." As the alien fleet retreated beyond the solar system, humanity stood together. The message from space had been a warning, a test, and a lesson. Humans had proven their worth, their ingenuity, and their resilience. The first battle had been won, not by firepower alone, but by intelligence, creativity, and unity. Luke Taylor turned to Emily. "We have survived the first wave, but the real challenge is learning from this. We must continue to prepare, to grow, and to protect our home. Humanity is ready for whatever comes next." Emily smiled. "We learned that we are stronger than we realized, and we will keep proving it." Rachel, Nina, and Alex joined them, looking at the screens that displayed Earth's defenses and the remnants of the retreating fleet.
"The galaxy has seen our potential," Rachel said.
And they will not forget it, Luke Taylor nodded. No, they will not.
Earth has shown its strength, and humanity has proven that intelligence, unity, and creativity are weapons no one can ignore. Vera watched the humans one last time before turning her ship toward the distant stars. She realized that this species had changed the balance of power in the galaxy. They were not just survivors. They were a force, one that even the Korthan could not underestimate. And on Earth, for the first time in human history, the people knew that they were not weak. They were united, clever, and ready to face whatever the universe might send. The stars had tested them, and humanity had risen to the challenge. The first battle was over. The message had been understood, and humanity had learned a lesson that would echo across the galaxy. Never underestimate humans. Alex Parker added, "We've proven we can defend ourselves, but the real test is still ahead. If they attack Earth directly, we need to be smarter than ever." Vera reported her observations to her superiors, warning them about humanity's adaptability. But the Korthan commander remained confident, unwilling to believe that a primitive species could pose a serious threat. Luke Taylor looked out over the red dust of Mars and the dark expanse of space beyond. "We are small," he thought, "but we are clever. We are humans, and we will not fall without a fight." For the first time, humanity had faced a threat that was larger, faster, and more dangerous than themselves. But they had survived the first encounter, adapted to the alien strategies, and learned from every challenge.
The Corthan fleet had come expecting an easy victory, but they had underestimated the most dangerous weapon in the universe, the human mind. And far in the distance, beyond the solar system, the next wave of the Corthan fleet began to approach. The real battle had not yet begun, but humanity was ready to face it. Not with sheer force, but with intelligence, unity, and the creativity that had made them survivors since the beginning of time. The alien fleet was near the inner planets now. The Corthan ships moved like shadows across the void, black and cold, their weapons ready. From the orbital station above Mars, Luke Taylor watched the displays, his hands tight on the console. "This is it," he said quietly. "Everything we've learned, every experiment, every plan, it comes down to this moment." Emily Ward nodded beside him, her eyes scanning the sensors.
All systems are ready, sir. Shields are online.
Drones are deployed. Energy pulses are primed. On Earth, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly. Nina Harris and Alex Parker monitored the defense grid, adjusting calculations and coordinating the drones.
Rachel Green observed the simulations.